Hey everyone, welcome to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast for the week of September 26th to the 2nd of October 2022. Alright, so there's a lot going on this week, a lot of different aspects, but most importantly is the new moon we just had last Sunday is just slowly building momentum this week. So it is good to set new intentions still coming into the week, Monday, Tuesday, and really listen, see what is new, what new is arising, and to be flexible with Mercury still retrograde, and to plant a bunch of seeds right now and start to see what are these new beginnings that are slowly starting to emerge. Life will support us in this. It's a good time of trying new things, getting our feet wet, things like this. Fantastic. Now the aspects are all very much concentrated in the new moon energy. So if you haven't yet seen the new moon video, definitely do check that out. But a lot of those aspects are going exact. Now, one of the ones that are most notable is that Mercury retrograde is going to go over Venus, the planet of our values and relationships. And so there could be a new beginning here in terms of maybe some new perspectives about our values and relationships. Good time of perhaps communication, or at least practicing communication, or learning, or willing to exchange. It does emphasize the Mercury energy there in relationships, but again, with flexibility, with trying new things, with a willingness to learn, right? All this is a great way of working with that. All right, so that Venus will be trining Pluto, so there's some support and empowerment with the Venus side of it. Actually, they'll both be trining Pluto, Mercury as well. So there is this empowering energy, this willingness to dive deep, things like this in, again, the communication and relating spheres. And this can, of course, be everyday communications and things like that as well. Wednesday, Mars will be trining Saturn. There's a good constructive energy to be utilized. Could be good for discipline, responsibility, things like that. And as we do get to that weekend, we will enter the first quarter phase, which is typically a more action-oriented phase of the cycle, and where we do have Mercury going direct. So a lot of that Mercury energy that's been on the back burner or just been redoing, or things having to be redone, starts to slowly move forward into next week. All right, so that's a mouthful. There's even more to talk about. So let's go and take a look at all of this here in more detail when we return. Alrighty, so here's the sky for this week. We're going to look at this for Monday, September 26th until Sunday, October 2nd of 2022. And as you can see, we are using the visible sky on this channel, which is very different from mainstream astrology. So if you are new to this channel, definitely check out that link down below for more information. All right, so most important thing about this week is the new moon that just took place on Sunday. And the fact that these first few days of the week is great for starting new energy, starting new intentions and new momentum building. But you can see there's a lot of aspects concentrated here, so we'll break it down. It's actually a lot simpler than it looks here with this one, but we will talk about those. But all in all, just slowly building momentum, and when we do get to the weekend, then we'll notice a more action-oriented phase. And that's where we will likely come to our first challenges of this new lunar cycle, but at least that it's good to challenge ourselves, right? With the first quarter action, the tire meets the pavement, setting intentions, right? To actually integrate them is great. And that's going to be the same time that Mercury does go direct on Sunday there. All right, but a lot of the energy is concentrated in Virgo, which is the improvement natures of life. And so if you haven't yet seen the new moon video, definitely check it out, because a lot of what's going on this week, this early part of the week, is just the aspects involving these planets here. All right, but all this that's going on at the beginning of the week is essentially the fact that Mercury retrograde is going to go over Venus. All right, so they're going to conjoin, and then they're going to trine Pluto. All right. So with this, again, Mercury retrograde, it's always a good time to be flexible and adaptive, but especially when Mercury is in his home sign like this of Virgo, it can really heighten the energy. At least that's how it seems to have been felt this time around. So great for this, again, willingness to learn, right? Willingness to try new things, to be flexible, have a plan A, B, C, and D, so to speak, right? Just generally as an energy of the week, as it has been the previous 2 weeks. So with this one, it is involving Venus, and so she's the planet of values and relationships. And so it certainly is a new beginning here in terms of perhaps our perspective on our values, right? Mercury retrogrades, how we're thinking, how we're perceiving things. So a new perspective on our values, our enjoyments of life, and our relationships. And this could all be emphasized here in the sense that perhaps willingness to learn about these things is great, a willingness to exchange, learn from others, communicate, right? So that mental, communicative energy, while being flexible with it, is highly emphasized here in the realm of our values and relationships with this conjunction. All right, so very strong energy here. Both these planets very close to Earth when they're next to the sun like this. For Mercury, who's retrograde, closest to the Earth, really adding to that mercurial energy with all this. But they are going to be trining up to Pluto, and so there is this empowerment, personal transformation, and depth when it comes to these things, right? So depth to the mind, depth to the communication. At least, again, it's good to do that. Be willing to perhaps be vulnerable or dive deep, right? Or do things in our communications we normally wouldn't do that. Now we have the empowerment to do it. So nice support from Pluto there. And again, same when it comes to the enjoyments, to the values, and to those relationship energies, right? Supportive there for that depth as well. So that's essentially what you're seeing here. Mercury over Venus with the trines to Pluto. But there is one more to talk about here, and that is the sun opposite Jupiter. Again, part of that new moon energy. But in this case, the sun, a vital life force of ourselves, is going to go exact with Jupiter, which can really expand things. So Jupiter is always a good time to expand our horizons, see things from the bigger picture. It's very abstract, right? Emphasis. And it can be very spiritual as well with Jupiter and Pisces. And the spiritual components are very good for, doing more inner work, not really work, but, inner connection, spiritual attunement, right? With all this Virgo energy, which is about improvement, refinement, control, Pisces is the opposite to that, which is floating, being present, being connected to our soul as well, our intuition, all this. So good to balance that out, because that will be likely emphasized here. And then as a reminder that these two constellations, Pisces and Virgo, need to be balanced, right? Control, no control, doing, being, work and rest, physical health, spiritual health, right? Anything on this level, fantastic. Really all week, all part of the new moon, but highly concentrated here, these Monday and Tuesday time periods. All right, and that's where the moon will be in Virgo, right? Coming off of that new moon all the way up until about Thursday. Okay, moon will be emphasizing that sort of Virgo energy. Now with all of this energy, this whole early part of the week up and through Thursday, Mars is going to be in a very nice trine with Saturn. So Mars is usually our short-term goals, and Saturn we could say is our long-term goals or long-term wants and needs. And so these are in harmony. And so it could be a very productive time, very constructive, very responsible, very patient, persevering, right? And anything you want to channel that into is great. Anything you're putting your energy into. And this is supporting a Mars who's already in an earth sign of Taurus at the moment. So it's been good to take things slowly and steadily. But we have a lot of support to do that. A lot of grounding energy, a lot of constructive energy, certainly available this, let's call it, first half of the week here. All right, now once we do get to this Thursday time period, we will have the moon shifting into Libra. And so Thursday will likely be a theme around balance and perhaps relationships in the sense of what's fair, right, and just. Okay, and so anything that is about bringing things back into balance, whether it's in our personal life or in our relational life, could be a great way of working with that Libra energy. When we do get to Friday, the moon will enter deep Scorpio. Okay, and this is again when we start to get to the square energies, not quite, but close. And here, both Friday and Saturday are good for that deeper world. So the moon is our inner world, Scorpio is the unveiling, and then Ophiuchus on Saturday is the healer. And so both of these days are very good for exposing that deeper world within ourselves, to be attuned and connected to the deeper world and our deeper values, right? And anything that is, again, about healing or transformation or empowerment or exposing the deeper world, not just about ourselves, but of life as a whole, right, is great. And we'll probably notice some themes around that. And then as we do get to Sunday, the moon will be transforming out of that deeper world and into more free-spirited Sagittarius, where it's usually the more of the post-transformation energies, the butterfly out of the cocoon. But still, first quarter is a reminder that it is good to integrate this energy. This is where we are in that first quarter moon, where the sign of Virgo, the improvement nature, is very different from the free-spirited nature. And so the challenge will be how to integrate these two, to focus on improvement, refinement, work, service, all this, while also being open to expanding our horizons, listening to our spirit, being free-spirited, being free, right? All right, so freedom and structure sort of thing, good to integrate. But all in all, anything that did emerge from the last new moon, again, from last Sunday, coming into this week, it's good to challenge ourselves to integrate, not just this weekend, but going into early next week. All right, but that first quarter will go exact on Sunday. Now, over the weekend, we do have Venus opposite Jupiter, so perhaps some, again, buoyancy or expansion happening, in this case with our values and relationships. So discussing higher perspectives, higher things, spirituality, more abstract, maybe adventurousness. Could be good to balance when it comes to those, again, values and enjoyments. But really the weekend is about this Mercury going direct, okay? So good to pause here Saturday and Sunday and see, okay, what is shifting here with the retrograde? What did we learn these past few weeks? What did get redone, right? And all this is starting to move forward. So anything that was on the back burner or had to be redone or we were working with starts to move forward. And this will get very close to an opposition to Neptune. Again, just as a reminder that it is important to stay connected to our soul, to our spiritual selves, right? While implementing this new energy and challenging ourselves to integrate this new energy in this first quarter moon and now with Mercury going direct. All right, so that is the weekend in a nutshell. It's actually quite straightforward when you break it down. New moon coming into this week, building momentum in the lunar cycle, coming to the more action-oriented phase over the weekend. A lot of this energy at the beginning really has to do with the combination of Mercury and Venus, which is the combining of the, let's say, relational energies with the mental energies, or the values and the mental energies, and being flexible with that, with the retrograde. There's empowerment with it, with the trines to Pluto, and there's some new perspective shifting, certainly with the opposition up to Jupiter. Okay, and then the weekend, most important thing is to just sort of pause around that Mercury retrograde or Mercury going direct, Mercury station, Saturday, Sunday, see what slowly moves forward from there. All right, so everyone have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to click the like button if you're watching this on YouTube. And there's a link down below to sign up to MTZ Insiders. It is a newsletter where you do get these videos released first before YouTube and extra content not normally released on YouTube. So if you're not yet signed up, definitely do so down below. Have a great one, everyone, and I'll see you all next time for the next astrology forecast. Take care.